Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed. I'm Jackson.
I am home at the movies.
And in the interest of plugging Mr. Holmes' new podcast, we have a special guest this week.
Hello, my name is Mitch.
Mitch and Alex have started a new show called Drawn to Nostalgia. So I'll let you guys real quick at the start the show kind of explain what that's about.
Oh boy, I'm not good with sales pitches here.
Well, it's a show about anything that is from like the late 80s, early 90s, any sort of nostalgic thing from people our age, mainly cartoons, like, Animaniacs, TMNT,
yes,
Transformers, He-Man, Thundercats, you name it, something from the 80s that is awesome. That's what we do.
Yes, that is what we do. I'm sitting here. Mitch is a little further away from his mic than he should be, so I'm trying to
I thought you were
slowly I'm trying to tell you to speed up.
Yeah, then wrap it up, buddy.
But yeah, anyways, this week our main review is we had the wonderful opportunity of going to see the Transformers, the movie. And I did say that on purpose. The Transformers, the movie.
The movie.
Definitive.
1986 animated classic, I guess.
Yeah. We'll find out if those ruby-tinted rose nostalgia glasses are full of wine or full of shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start with news, though.
Yeah.
You got the news, right?
Yep. We've got the news. We've got a bunch of Venom news. Everybody's favorite lovable cannibal, I guess you'd call
Everybody's
him.
So excited for Venom.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's trepidatious at all. So the Venom review embargo lifts the day before the movie comes out. Oh, not a good sign.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, usually that means they don't have much faith in their movie.
Yep.
And it's a steaming pile of shit.
I believe the last times I remember this happening on such a large-scale film was, aside from, like, Avengers Infinity War, where they were trying to keep spoilers under wraps, was, like, Suicide Squad. Either that or it was Batman v Superman, one of the two.
I mean, I know this last week, I didn't get a chance to see it, but Hellfest reviews weren't up until like halfway through Friday. And actually, it wasn't as bad as I expected as far as the review number was concerned. It's like 35% or something.
Oh, well, that's right around.
I mean, it's not 12.
What's that? They got that ad that plays on YouTube all the time. Have you heard it? Where it's like, it's gonna be great, like, and they do like this audio thing to her voice.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I don't think so. Okay. I don't think I've heard that.
Maybe I'll slip that into the episode and you can hear it.
Try and make your references something that we all
are universal.
Know of. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Not everybody.
I think we universally can know that Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman did not do too well. So.
Well, financially they did well, but not with the critics.
Well, wait a minute. Now, the Venom movie, have they shown it to anyone? Like, because like Batman vs. Superman, a month before it came out, like you could tweet about it if you were at the premieres or whatever.
I think that there are some people that have actually been in like test screenings of it, but nobody can talk about it. Like
at all.
There's no, because there are social media embargoes and then there are review embargoes, and neither of them have lifted.
All right. Well, get ready for that movie.
Yeah. Well, and, something to just, sprinkle a little bit of confidence all over our Venom discussion here. Tom Hardy said that 30 to 40 minutes of the movie was cut from the film, including his favorite scene.
That's probably not a good sign.
Yeah.
Nope, not at all.
What do you guys think? What do you think was cut from the movie?
I mean, there's no way to know.
Right.
But it's probably not a good sign, I mean, they probably wanted to make like a really long, epic superhero movie.
Right.
And they watched it, and it wasn't very good. Although supposedly there's a 3-hour cut of Hereditary out there somewhere.
Really?
Yes.
I think I'm fine with the length of Hereditary.
Well, like supposedly, not to go off on a tangent, but supposedly you were supposed to find out, like, she was one of his patients. The wife was one of her, Toni Collette was one of the
husband's
Steve, poor Steve.
Oh, right. Yeah, poor Steve.
Yeah, she was like one of his patients and stuff. I don't know. I'd be interested in seeing it just because who the fuck knows? Maybe there's more like crazy shit they cut out.
Or maybe we could save it for the sequel / spinoff and we could start a Hereditary cinematic universe.
Oh, Jesus. Are you going somewhere with that?
No,
or?
that's it.
Okay.
That's, as far as I know, that's all you need in Hollywood is the idea of a cinematic universe.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's really working out well for people.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Except for the Dark Universe. Yeah,
right.
That really...
Except for everything but Marvel.
Yeah. Yep.
I think the best thing I would like to see a cinematic universe of would just be like a Stephen King cinematic universe.
I believe I sent you a pitch via text on that, and that the uniting like framework of that is the Dark Tower
That's what
trilogy.
the Dark Tower is, right?
Exactly. But just do it in films.
Yeah. Why
It's
not?
so fucking good.
Yeah, it would be great.
I mean,
if
and
they
I haven't
did
even
that.
read these books, but I love the
I
ideas.
started Dr. Sleep this weekend, which
Okay.
is the Shining
Sequel. Right,
Yeah,
I
which
heard
is
it's
now they're
good.
making a movie. I started it. I don't know. It seems okay. I mean, that old lady's back in the bathroom being creepy
boy.
as fuck
That's what I want to see.
right
Right.
off the bat. Yeah.
Well, speaking of cinematic universes, Sony is continuing with theirs. The next one on the docket is obviously their Morbius film, the living vampire.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Right,
It doesn't
yeah.
make any sense.
Yep, he's a vampire, but he's alive. That's his distinguishing feature. And so Avi Arad, he's been the producer of all of these Spider-Man movies going back to the Tobey Maguire ones. He said that Jared Leto, as Morbius, is throwing all of his charisma to this role in the way that he did to the Joker.
So I need to ask then, is he going to give some of his cast members like use condoms or any weird stuff like that?
Maybe condoms full of blood to stick with like the
The whole vampire,
the vampire thing.
Is it wrong of me to say he's overrated?
No, I think that's the new prevailing theory. In all honesty,
I've been saying it like just because you play like a what was he, like a transgender?
Transvestite.
Yeah.
Transgender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
transgender with long hair. And I think we've talked about that. You
Right.
thought he was good in that.
I thought he was
He was-
good in that role, but I haven't seen anything.
He was good in that. He hasn't been. I mean, yeah, he's memorable in Fight Club, but other than that, I mean,
How
what else
good
has
was
he done?
he in that, though?
Right. Well, how good was he in Fight Club? Because the thing that everybody remembers is that he got his face bashed in.
I mean, I remember him most from Requiem for a Dream.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
right. Yeah.
The movie I
pretty
can
good
only
in that.
watch once.
That's a talking about a good movie that you only watch once. That goes
only
right in
watch
that
that
pile.
once.
It's
Yep.
something else.
It's disturbing, but that song, the
But
main
yeah.
theme from Requiem, great.
But let me just, it gives me no confidence in the movie, although I know nothing about this.
Right.
So, I mean, whatever. I don't
ju-
care.
It's another Spider-Man spin-off that we don't need. I have no hype for this whatsoever. It's Jared Leto, and it's a vampire movie.
He kind of looks like he could make a pretty good vampire, though. Just the look of him.
Well, yeah, he's such an
He's
emo.
super pale and frail.
He's got that long hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he should just show up as the transgender from the million dollar club or whatever the fuck it was
That
called.
was wasn't that with Matthew McConaughey?
Yes.
Yeah, that was during the reconnaissance.
McConaissance.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas
There it is.
Buyers
Yep,
Club. Yep,
yep.
that's it.
Yeah, if that happened, they would the headlines would, just make themselves daring. It'll suck the life right out of you.
Yeah. There you go. That's pretty good.
But we got some more news, Star Wars news. Everybody loves Star Wars.
You know me. I love my
Hell
Star
yes.
Wars news. What good news do you have
Oh
for
yeah,
me?
it's nothing but good news. Since the beginning of time, Star Wars has been nothing but good. But so Kathleen Kenedy, she gets a new contract extended for 3 years, and in addition to this news, Bob Iger kind of went out and sort of said, "Yeah, I think we kind of jumped the gun on how much Star Wars content we're giving you guys. We're gonna slow it down a bit." And that whole like Solo thing coming out like 6 months after Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Yeah, that's on me. That wasn't Kathleen Kenedy. So, don't crucify her for that. It kind of felt to me like he was sort of backtracking on the very idea of giving her a new contract.
Yeah, well, nobody likes her.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah. What do you think we can expect with another 3 years?
All right. So I've been waffling on this whole too much Star Wars too soon, and I was thinking about it actually just the other day. You know, we say everyone has Star Wars fatigue. Like, where's the Marvel fatigue?
Well, we already kind of discussed this. There is no Marvel fatigue.
Yes.
Because Marvel gets into different genres and has different tones in their films. Star Wars is the same in every movie.
That's true, but okay, not all Marvel are like that. I mean,
no.
And what if like Marvel put out what if Avengers Infinity War came out and half the Marvel fans hated it?
I think I think it's a factor of there are many different factors in this. You've got an overarching narrative which Star Wars doesn't have because they've got these like intermittent solo films.
Sure, but you're not letting me get to my point.
Oh, okay, sorry.
They came out with a piece of shit.
Okay.
And their next movie didn't do as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it rocket science?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, go ahead and slow your roll on how many Star Wars movies you're coming out. But if they're not good, it's not going to help you.
Right. Well, maybe it's we don't mandate that we're putting one out a year. Maybe we really just try and focus on making it a good movie.
If The Last Jedi would have been received as well as The Force Awakens, I think Solo does great. I mean, that's what I think.
I think you've got a pretty... I mean, we don't know. It's all hypothetical, you know? I think you could make an argument that people were not sold on the Solo movie. In addition to Last Jedi, it was also just like, Harrison Ford is Han Solo. We're tired of revisiting the same time period, even though Rogue One did really well. But
you had a huge contingent of Star Wars fans that were pissed.
Right.
And doing nothing but bitching about the last movie they made.
Well, that doesn't help. Well, the Star Wars fans, I mean, let's be honest here. Sometimes we can be a bitchy bunch when it comes to like just about anything with the show. You
know, I've thought of that, and I know that people say that, and I know that that's kind of been the spin that Lucasfilm has given.
Right.
But then I think about it, it's like, okay, there's underground bitching and moaning about the books or the comics or whatever. All I care about are the movies.
Right.
That's it, literally.
Right.
I think it's a matter of the fan base is super divided. Is what I think it is you've got a generation of people behind us who love the prequels. And then you've got The Last Jedi, which is super divisive.
Sure.
And so, I mean, it's a matter of like, I think Star Wars is to the point now where they can't please their entire fan base, which is really strange.
No, I mean, you're never going to be able to please everyone, but I mean, like, you know, some of the cast members leaving Twitter just because like they're like Star Wars fans are chewing them out and ripping on them a bunch.
I don't agree that you can't please everyone. I just don't agree.
Because The Force Awakens pleased most people.
Most people. There were some who thought it was derivative, rightfully so.
And that's a fair criticism.
But I think about like the risks they took with like Empire, and I suppose we're talking about a totally different ball game back then. There had only been one movie, but you'd think there would be people like...
Weren't there people who were actually pissed? Like I thought there were I've heard stories of Star Wars fans being upset.
I'm sure
at the time.
The lore of the upset Star Wars fans.
Right, it started way back when.
They were still pretty pumped to see Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Well, I think didn't Return of the Jedi they had one of those old school trailers where they kind of like gave away a ton of the movie. So I think you saw like Harrison Ford in the movie and there's like, yeah, he's back.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you could have had Han die.
Yep.
Yeah, but see, that would have been people pissed like because I like Han Solo, he's dead.
Right. It's not a narrative thing.
Instead of like Luke Skywalker's like a bitchy, angry, upset old man who doesn't want to help anyone.
Hell, even Hamill said he didn't like that idea.
Right. So I don't know. I just think they need to make a really good Star Wars movie. And maybe it'll come when they do something new that's not attached to any of this, which we've discussed. Are they ever going to do that?
Yeah. Well, honestly, thinking about it, that might be part of the problem too, because think about Marvel. We were talking about the comparison with Star Wars and Marvel. Marvel has this vast universe that they can go any which direction, as Alex said. But Star Wars has always kind of been even all their prequel stuff And even like the side movies, that's still tied to the same linear story.
Right. Well, we've talked about this on the show before. Like all the things they could be doing, that's what they need to do.
They're not.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, it's just a matter of, like, Star Wars is always going to be Empire versus Rebels, and it's always going to be Sith versus Jedi.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
Right.
But that's the idea, and that's the scary thing about it for a lot of people.
I would love to see a Star Wars movie where it's like the first people that learn how to use Force.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I'd love to see a Star Wars movie with literally no Force and nobody knowing anything about it.
Yeah.
But
No,
it takes place in that universe.
I want like a horror movie where they crash land on some fucked up planet and there's
Like what?
I mean,
a
who
bunch of
knows?
Rancors just coming out.
Sure.
I want to see a movie.
Well, now see, that's the problem, though.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be Rancor.
No,
but that's the thought process.
It is.
Right?
It is. We have to tie it some way into the things that we know. Otherwise, people won't know it's Star Wars.
What about how messed up would it be if it was just like a straight horror movie and you didn't know until the end that it was a Star Wars movie?
They get Shyamalan to direct it.
Oh my God.
It's the new Shyamalan movie, and then all of a sudden Darth Vader comes in the last scene.
Now, I think the problem with that, how do you hide a Star Wars movie? I mean, unless you're not going to put Lucasfilm before it and have the 20
That's a good point.
you know.
Oh, man. Well, they could just say it's a bad robot production.
There you go. Yeah,
Ooh.
JJ
takes it.
But yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, people are like, oh, isn't this in like the Cloverfield?
I don't know. But the main piece of news is
Kathleen Kennedy.
she's staying.
Yes.
I feel like that's a troll job. I'm sorry.
I go back and forth on it because if they're a business, they're making a good business decision because she has had $3 billion plus movies.
Sure.
And she's had one failure, and one failure doesn't qualify a firing, even though it is a massive failure.
It was bad, like real bad.
I think it did like 380 worldwide, which is like, that's a little over half of what Ant-Man and Wasp made.
Yeah, that's really bad.
That's really bad.
Speaking of spacemen,
What a segue, knocking it out of the park.
Speaking of going to infinity and beyond,
I believe my space senses are tingling, or buzzing, I guess they would be. But we got a new story from Tim Allen talking about Toy Story 4. He says it's the most emotional script for a Toy Story movie he's read, which is shocking considering Toy Story 3. And he likens the movie to Infinity War as far as like an emotional resonance for the audience.
so all the toys end up like
Just fade
grinded
away.
up into fucking
What if-
the garbage disposal.
what
or
if there's
something?
actually a Thanos toy?
There you go. That would be clever.
They could actually do like a crossover because it's all Disney.
Yeah,
Right.
since it's all Disney now, just a Thanos toy.
Hold on,
once
so
you
they
get-
can have like Star Wars toys in Toy Story now?
Yeah,
like the
they
old
could-
school 70s Star Wars toys could show up?
They could.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You know what would be amazing is if they actually went like super like meta on this. Like they had like a Rey doll or like I don't forget her name from Rogue One, but they come in.
Yeah,
and,
of course you forgot her name. Who the fuck would remember her name?
Yeah, she's pretty bad.
Jyn Erso.
That movie,
But it wasn't a memorable movie.
hot take. I hate that movie.
I know you do.
But so what if like they come in and they're like all feminist.
Oh, geez.
Feminist. The Force is female. That's like the first line that they say as toys.
Yeah. Girls play with toys too.
Yes.
Oh God.
And then the Marvel characters can't come in and they're just like, I don't want to turn to dust.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That'd be kind of clever if they did that. They need to be careful to stop trolling people, though. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm getting to the point where it's like this Kathleen Kennedy thing. I'm sorry.
We moved on, but Jackson has not.
It's annoying. I don't know. I just see like, okay, so she had 3 movies that kicked ass as far as making money is concerned, but did anybody think like The Force Awakens is a gimme?
Right.
You know, it was gonna.
Yeah.
It really is a gimme. That's if the movie sucked, it wouldn't have made $2 billion. But
Right. Well, and I didn't think Solo was so bad. I just feel like it's not even about the movies and how good or bad they are and how much money they made, but just the fucking vitriol amongst like people from the set fighting with the fans and the
Right.
fans trolling the shit out of them and being assholes. Just we need a clean slate.
Right. If you guys can fire James Gunn, you can fire her.
Yeah, honestly, like
Good example.
Just after 9, reset. It's time
I
to
think
do
that-
something new.
I think that's a really good idea because it would just be good to get a different voice in there and a different direction. Because this whole, like, we're going to go back to the Empire thing all the time and we're going to rehash everything from the previous original trilogy.
Yeah, if we call it the First Order and the Resistance, it's really different.
It's really
Yep.
Jackson,
Completely new.
Come on.
Completely new.
See, you're one of those toxic fans I'm talking
yeah, I
about.
suppose. But yeah, no, Toy Story. I'm always excited for a new Pixar movie. So
Pixar's great.
Yeah, what do you think, Mitch? What are you looking forward to here?
Well, I would be looking forward to see if they actually do some little, throwbacks to some of their new IPs that they have, with like, if they use like Marvel characters in it, I think that would be hilarious. I think that
I think they will.
funny.
You think they will?
I think
They'll have to. I mean, kind of like the same thing with, I know I'm just going to throw out a video game reference here, but Kingdom Hearts.
Right, yeah.
I mean, they do that with that game, so I'm sure they'll do it with this.
Yeah, you would think it'd be smart. I mean, Star Wars is, as far as toys, and they hadn't acquired Lucasfilm before 3, correct? I mean, you would think that they would work in like the biggest toy line ever
Right.
into their toy movie.
You would think
Oh,
so.
totally.
Right.
At least in a, like...
Not, it doesn't have to like be part of the plot.
It could be
You just
in the
have
background.
a dumbass. Yeah, right.
Yeah. That would be nice. And
Maybe like someone hops in the Falcon toy and thinks they can fly it. Whatever.
Maybe Buzz Lightyear finally gets to go to space.
There you go.
let me ask you this. We're bringing all this up. Do you think that if we saw this in the movie and had not brought this up, that we'd be like, oh, the fucking Disney shills just pimping their products, pimping out Star Wars?
I mean, it's what you expect, right?
It is what you expect, but do you think we'd be upset about it? I think we might have been a little upset about it.
I don't think I'd. It depends on the way it's used,
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I understand they're shills. Who cares?
Well, I mean, speaking of used,
Oh, here
this
we go.
studio always makes me feel used. If
Sony.
I'm being no, Fox.
Fox.
We've moved on to the next big one. So Fox moved around a lot of things. I'm just going to get all the news out there. So they moved Battle Angel Alita they've moved it to February from the December 21st release that was going to come out this year. In its place is coming a PG-13 Deadpool movie that is going to be a retelling of Deadpool 2. It's basically re-edited with Fred Savage, basically reprising his role from The Princess Bride, and Deadpool will be telling him the story of Deadpool 2.
As the old grandpa.
Then the other thing that they've done, they've also pushed back Gambit again. That movie was announced, I believe, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
Now it's going to come out, in quotes, March 13th, 2020. And right on the heels of the Dark Phoenix trailer, they have pushed that back from February to June 7th.
What happened to the one where they're like in the mental
New
asylum?
Mutants?
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue.
Okay.
I think no one cares is the real issue.
I care.
Do you?
Whatever. It's a little different.
Nah, thank you.
Looks a little different.
Why can't they just do like X-Men right now? They did it so good. Well, at the verge of like the birth of the comic book movie, they did it okay.
I thought X-Men 2 was
Oh,
fantastic.
X-Men 2 was great.
I feel like those movies are pretty good for their time, but they have aged.
X2
yes.
is great though. Still,
It's a good narrative.
awesome.
It's a good narrative, and it does a pretty decent job of kind of doing the Christopher Nolan thing of sort of grounding your comic characters in like a more realistic setting.
and it has like arguably the greatest fucking superhero action scene ever.
Which one's that one?
Nightcrawler storms the White House.
Oh, that was pretty good. Yeah.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
No, it was a pretty good scene. Like it's really
pretty good. It kicks off the movie and it's like the fucking most badass thing ever.
okay. I rewatched it, and I don't want to say I was unimpressed because I wasn't, but I wasn't like as blown away as I was the first time I saw it.
Can never impress Alex, guys.
That is kind of the message of this.
Well, and
That is
it also
kind of
had
true.
yes.
It also had the nonsensical iron in your blood scene where
Yeah,
he breaks out of the
too much
plastic
iron.
prison. It was pretty sweet.
I tell you, I
There's
like
a lot
that
of good
bit.
stuff in that movie.
Yeah, X2 is a good. I would say X2 is the high watermark of the X-Men franchise.
Absolutely.
Everything else has been trying to live up to that sense.
Logan is a different kind of movie.
Right. But Logan's good by its
Right.
own
Correct.
right.
But let's discuss this news. How do you feel about that Dark Phoenix trailer and then the movie getting pushed back 6 months?
I thought the Dark Phoenix trailer looked pretty good.
I thought it was.
You weren't going to like it no matter what it was. Though.
I
Can
thought
we
it
be
was-
honest? You're anti-X-Men at this point.
Actually, that is true.
Yes.
I am anti X-Men at
Yes.
this point. At this point, after Apocalypse,
Hey, I was sitting right next to you in Apocalypse. That
was-
was awful. I'll give it to you.
I'm glad I did not see that.
yeah, you made a great call. Great life choice there, Mitch.
Well,
It's bad.
I did do a disservice by not watching the trailer, so we don't have the
Oh, that's
control here for this.
That just stay out of this conversation.
It's fine. It's a fine trailer. It looks like the same dour X-Men shit that's been going on since the early 2000s.
So I haven't missed much.
No,
But
that's my problem with the series in general, though, is that it never has evolved past the first two movies. It's never tried to be anything new. It's the same old, oh, Charles, we can't trust the humans.
Yeah,
oh, Magneto.
It's Malcolm X versus Martin Luther.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, if they kept on having the same conversation over like 15,
they
20
probably
years.
would have if they
and
were
if one,
alive
and if one were in a
today.
wheelchair and the other was wearing red and a cape.
Yeah, well, except it'd be like Malcolm X being like, no, you're right, Mr. King.
I don't know.
Dr. King.
I don't know if he'd say he was right.
And then a week later, he'd be like,
They'd betray,
no.
yeah.
Yes, that's what it, and then that was what they did every couple
Well,
of years.
because somebody's always a fucker and ruins their piece. You know?
Well, you'd think that eventually seeing the amount of fuckery that Malcolm X would have seen in this scenario, maybe he just wouldn't keep on going back to...
I mean, this is the theme of X-Men, though. So your argument is basically make it not X-Men anymore, or don't make X-Men movies anymore.
No, my argument is open it up to new philosophical arguments, which was what Apocalypse should have been. It should have been the idea of survival of the fittest, and what does that mean for evolution? That's a different philosophy than just... we can live with the humans, we have to live separate from the humans. That's a different ideology. You could have done something interesting with that. There's also people from space. There's the Shi'ar Empire. There's
How about they just start? How about they take something from the X-Men cartoon show from the 90s?
yeah, do anything there. And I mean, I'm just saying, like, X-Men is actually a really big world. And yes, the core theme is discrimination and tolerance. But when that's all you do, and you rehash the same talking points, it's just boring.
Oh, maybe for a racist like you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I enjoy the X-Men.
The truth comes out.
I just
Oh,
don't
boy.
like. I just didn't like that last one, and obviously the Wolverine
was-
Origins one was terrible. I
Oh,
actually
yeah.
thought the Wolverine, like the Wolverine,
Right.
Yeah.
I had fun with that.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was good.
the first half was pretty good, and then it
Oh,
just
that
kind of
robot
devolved.
fight at the end
It
or
just,
whatever was terrible.
yeah, it just...
But there was a sweet like train action.
Yeah, that
scene.
train.
Yeah,
That train.
that was
action
the
scene
highlight
pretty
of the
good.
movie.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm a scene guy.
Yeah, you're a scene guy, and, I'm a big picture guy.
As long as we don't have another butchered comic character like the Deadpool that they had
Oh, right, yeah, in X-Men Origins.
in X-Men Origins.
Well, that's been wiped from the canon, right?
Yeah, and
That
Deadpool
never
has
happened.
mentioned it a bunch of times, so we don't have to deal with it. How do you guys feel about that PG-13 Deadpool?
I might go see it.
I like the idea of the Fred Savage thing. That's all I'm interested in.
You think you might just, like, look that up on YouTube, though, and just watch those clips?
Actually, it makes me happy that I didn't buy the Deadpool 2 Blu-ray because now I'm just going to wait for the one that comes with the Fred Savage clips.
Yeah, it's going to be like the dual disc pack or whatever,
Right.
you know? Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
didn't see Deadpool 2, so this.
Oh,
this,
wow.
Yeah, this would be my
Yeah, but
opportunity.
it's the PG-13 Deadpool
Oh, that's
movie.
a good point. Never mind. I should probably watch
I've
the
been
original
saying that-
first.
I've been saying this about people who have been saying that Deadpool at Disney is going to be neutered. You got a lot of potential for jokes as far as him being like censored, him trying to say what the fuck and like getting upset that the movie is censoring him.
Well,
like he knows,
Like
like
breaking the fourth wall,
Yeah.
like he
Can
always
Disney
does.
not? I mean, can Disney not make an R-rated movie?
they could potentially, but it's kind of like the whole like, you know, how we're going to confuse the fan base because Marvel is traditionally for kids or at least, you know, adolescents. And then all of a sudden you're going to have
brand or whatever.
Yeah, it affects the family-friendly brand of
Okay,
Marvel.
well, hopefully
you know?
they'll just say, well, we should have this one stay R because
Right.
that's the point.
Right.
Well, I mean, since they own Fox now, they can just have Deadpool just stay with Fox.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like they could just do all of their R-rated shit under the Fox banner.
Right.
Yeah.
But Battle Angel, apparently that movie is actually finished. This isn't any sort of like negative
It
thing.
looked like it had to have been close to finish.
Yeah,
from
we've
last
seen the
trailer.
special effects and the trailers and everything.
Yeah, so apparently this is more of that's a stacked weekend. Like Aquaman comes out. There are a bunch of other movies that come out on the 21st. So basically, they're like, we would be annihilated.
Well, they know. I mean, it's not a property that is going to do
No.
damage against a pre-existing thing. So.
No. Well,
Yeah, it makes
once
sense. I'm actually kind of excited to see that, even though I know it's going to be terrible. But I kind
Right.
of want to see it.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm interested in it too. I mean, it looked interesting.
yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. And I'm not a big fan of those eyes.
Those
Jack's
big
nose?
anime eyes.
Always
he's-
moving his laugh away from the mic.
You
You're
know.
always moving your laugh away from the. You don't want people to know I'm funny, Jackson.
Yeah, well, when I laugh with you, I laugh into the mic. When I'm laughing at you,
Any laughter is good laughter. I don't discriminate. But that's basically the end of the news.
all right. Good
So
time for me to take a vape hit then.
A word from our sponsor, Vaponizer. Vaping is the most delicious, nutritious thing that you could possibly do to your body. Ever.
Vaping is still bad for you. Buy one today.
This is what happens when I'm 2-to-1 on the nerd ratio now.
It is not perfectly balanced as it should be.
Hi, I'm home at the movies.
Hi, I'm Mitch.
And we're from Drawn to Nostalgia. And if you'd like to vape in your nostalgia, then come on over to our podcast.
Midges, knights, and turtles and tights. Sort of home and give me sight. Lunch pail and quackers take a flight. Born to nostalgia. Drawn to nostalgia.
Fucking cartoons!
Jesus Christ.
Shit we watched.
Shit we watched this week.
Yeah. What did you watch this week?
I watched a little Western horror film called Bone Tomahawk. Have you heard of this?
That old Bone Tomahawk.
Have
I've
you
not
heard
heard
of
of
this?
it.
I have
you haven't
not heard of this.
Who's
You
in
haven't
this?
heard of this either?
No, I
Neither of
haven't.
you. Okay, well, let me blow your mind here.
Oh, I'm ready to be blown.
Whoa. That's the kind of humor you can expect over at Drawn to Nostalgia.
Nice
All right,
plug,
so-
Alex.
Yeah.
This film stars Kurt Russell.
Ooh.
It was directed by Craig Zahler, who, hang on a second. He's done some other movies. He recently did a Puppet Master sequel. Remember those
wow.
movies?
I actually like the Puppet
okay.
Master.
Okay.
But no, so it stars Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson from the
Oh,
Conjuring
right.
movies,
Yep.
Matthew Fox, who played Jack in Lost.
Yep.
Richard Jenkins is the fourth guy. Now, he is the old dude from The Shape of Water.
Now, if nobody watched Lost, he was also in Party of Five, I believe.
There you go. But yeah, it's got David Arquette.
Oh, wow.
It's got
Throwbacks.
Sid Haig from he's from the Rob Zombie movies. He wears the clown makeup.
How old is this
Oh,
movie?
wow.
This is 2015.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then it's got Sean Young, who was Lieutenant Einhorn.
Finkel is Einhorn.
right, that's right. Einhorn.
And
That's
was
where I went.
also in Blade Runner, of course.
Oh, okay. Right.
But no, so basic premises, movie opens, David Arquette and this guy are like grave robbers.
Okay.
And they fuck up this grave of this native tribe
Okay.
who are fucking crazy. and they're cannibals.
Okay.
And they kill one of them and take him off. David Arquette escapes to like the little western towns with the saloon and the sheriff's office, all that shit. Kurt Russell plays the sheriff.
Perfect.
Patrick Wilson's wife is a doctor, so she's called in to help heal this guy who Kurt Russell shot because he was going to run away. So Kurt Russell, that's his thing. He shoots him in the leg and whatever. But no, so he gets she gets brought over to work on this prisoner played by David Arquette, and Kurt Russell leaves the sheriff's office like with another guy. He says, deputy, watch them, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
He goes away, and the next day they're taken. They're taken. They're gone.
I have a special set of skills.
Right, well, he would have been useful in this.
Okay.
But anyway, so it's fucking crazy.
Okay.
Like, must see. First of all, because it's great.
Okay.
The characters in it, like Richard Jenkins is always awesome. He was like the dad in Step Brothers.
Yeah.
He plays like an old deputy guy who works with Kurt Russell, and Kurt Russell just kind of keeps him around because he's got nothing to do, this guy. And, he's a friendly old man.
Just humoring the elderly.
Yes.
Don't got anything else to do, fine, come along with me.
Right. He does whatever. So Patrick Wilson this whole time has a really hurt leg, but they have to go, on classic Western shit. They have to go on a journey to find this native tribe of these cannibals.
Okay.
They're fucking nuts. This movie is so crazy. I was watching it in bed with the fiance at night. I was watching it like work night, late at night. I thought I was going to wake her up watching it by myself because I was like, oh, fuck. Like literally, like it is jaw-droppingly fun. The ending is crazy.
How crazy is it, Jackson?
It's one of the most fucked up things I've watched in a long time. Long time.
Usually a movie's pretty good if you actually get an audible response.
Yes, and I would
by yourself too.
Yeah, by
Right,
yourself.
exactly.
When you're by yourself, normally
And
you're
you
just
and
kind
you
of
go
like,
oh shit. You're like,
It
wow.
is fucking nuts. I mean, these like, our favorite Native American also makes an appearance from Westworld.
Westworld, God, I love that guy.
So he comes in because they bring him in. They're like, hey, what can you tell us about this? And they show him like an arrowhead. Like, who does this belong to? Do you
what
know
tribe is
anything?
this?
Right. And he's just like, no, don't. I'm not going with you. Because you don't fuck with these people.
Okay.
And whatever. They're basically monsters. And it's a horror movie.
Okay.
I mean, it's a horror movie with Western paint.
What didn't you check this out? Because when we were talking about Westworld, we kind of looked up his filmography, and that was one of the ones that came
That
up.
wasn't why I checked this out.
Oh, okay.
I checked this out because I've had a couple friends tell me it was good.
Okay.
And then Jay from Red Letter Media was excited for this Puppet Master movie because this guy directed it. Now, apparently that Puppet Master movie is awful.
Oh.
But,
that sucks.
That does suck.
But he had said in one of the Half in the Bags or something that it was a movie that he had trouble watching.
Oh.
And I know he's into some sick, fucked up shit.
Yeah.
So
he is a pervert.
You gotta see it.
Okay.
It's Kurt Russell's awesome.
Kurt Russell is always awesome.
Yeah, right.
Big fan.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, Richard Jenkins is great. The Lost guy is kind of a prick. He shoot first, ask questions later kind of guy.
He was just like that in Party of Five.
Every character is its own character.
Right.
There are very obvious differences between all of them. Patrick Wilson's always likable.
Yeah.
I'd give it an A.
That's a really good cast. So
The fact you give it an A, I want to go home and watch this.
It's if you have Amazon, it's free on Amazon.
Oh. Well, speaking of Amazon.
Oh, nice segue.
Yeah, I watched The Man in the High Castle. And I powered through all 20 episodes this week, so pat on the back for me. Because holy
you deserve
shit.
it. Because I doubted you last week.
Oh, man, dude, I was struggling for a little. I was like, do I want to live in this Nazi regime for another 4 hours so I can finish the season? I did it.
It's good.
It's a really good show, Mitch. I would highly recommend checking it out.
I believe you.
I'd be interested in seeing the budget on it because
right.
I'm sitting there watching it when I did watch it many moons ago. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how do they do this for TV? Because the world is very believable. It's very well done. I mean, it looks cartoony at times.
They have a lot of recurring sets, which is how you cut the budget. They've got, like, we keep on going to the same apartment. We keep on going to the same office building.
But they show, like, the cities.
They do, so, yeah.
Right.
And, well, and the smart thing is like, they don't, like... They always keep you, like, they don't have, like, a vehicle travel scene through the city, which would be a little harder to do. They usually see the city through somebody's, like, skyline, you know, or through their window of their house, or you see it street level because somebody is just walking through an alleyway, which is the best way to hide, you know, all that shit.
Well, so in case nobody knows what we're talking about here,
Right.
Basically, the premise of the show is that the Axis powers won World War II in this alternate universe timeline, whatever.
Right.
So they have divided the United States. The West Pacific side is the Japanese, and the Eastern Atlantic side are the Germans.
Yes, and there is a no man's land down the middle, or the neutral zone.
Right.
And that's sort of where all of the, you know, persecuted people will go. Black people go there, Jewish people went there, anybody with any sort of deformity at all or genetic disorder went there.
Yeah, because those Nazis were really nice guys. You know, if you had a mental problem, that's where you want to be.
Yes.
Is in the Nazi
Eastern,
America. Yeah.
Yep, because they want perfection, and if you have a defect, no, that's fine.
Right. Which is brought about in the second season with a character that minor spoil. Well, do you think we should just go into spoilers?
I think we should just discuss the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic show. I'd say and this is not spoilers because this happens in the first episode. Probably the most interesting thing, the most interesting narrative thread is there is a resistance. Obviously, there would be a resistance, but it's kind of small, very underground, small pockets of 5 individuals or less usually. And they're insurgents, and they are actually smuggling film reels around, coming from the man known as the Man in the High Castle. And these film reels, a lot of them come from our reality where we won World War II.
Right.
And one of the first characters, like, they actually get it and they watch it and they're blown away because they see, like, you know, like the celebrating in Times Square. They see, you know, the raising of the flag, all these things. They see the nuclear bomb that we dropped, you know, or, you know, one of the two that we dropped. And it's a tremendously interesting narrative thread. It actually leads me to one of my gripes, though. It's one of my few gripes, which is that's the most interesting thing to me because that trips my trigger as a viewer. I love multiverse theory things. And that is something that is dragged out a lot. So you'll get a little bit here at the beginning, and you'll get a tiny bit at the end of the season. Then you'll get a little bit at the beginning of season 2, and then you'll get a little bit at the end of season 2. But most of it, and all the other stuff is good. But it's just that's the most interesting thing to me. But all the characters are great. Well, that's not true. Ironically,
the bad characters are great.
Yes, and the resistance is full of pricks.
Yeah.
That I feel like
They're kind of annoying.
Yeah, I feel like you're supposed to like them, but
so what you're saying, you're supposed to sympathize with the Nazis?
They one Nazi in particular, Obergruppenführer Smith or whatever his name is.
His name is John Smith.
John Smith.
John Smith. Okay.
To me, he was the most, like, I was sympathizing for him more than anyone else on the show because he's got a son who is, like, I forget what he has. He has, like, a
muscular
dystrophy. Okay.
Yeah. So he's, like, got this struggle of, oh shit, if this was anyone else's kid, I would have to.
They would be dead.
Right.
Yep.
And then he doesn't want to do that with his kid.
Yep.
And he's got to deal with his wife. And, he's kind of lying about, he's trying to keep it under wraps. And his character has a hell of an arc through this whole thing.
It's really strange. It's strange watching it because he's actually pretty much pure monster in season 1.
Yes.
And then in season 2, they pull a Jaime Lannister with him.
He's a very delightful monster, though. Like,
He
as
is.
far as a character to watch, he's so good. Rufus Sewell plays him. He was in Dark City, A Knight's
City.
Tale.
Wow.
The Holiday.
Speak for yourself, Alex. Yeah, good actor.
Yeah, he's really great. He is.
If you name drop Jaime Lannister as like a character arc for this guy, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Yes, he's great. There's also a guy who's the head of the Kempai Tai on the Pacific Japanese run states, and which the Kempai Tai is basically the Japanese police military.
Right.
Wait,
And
is this the guy you mentioned before?
no, this is a different Asian character. He's the Jaime Lannister of the other side, I would
Yeah.
say. Because he starts out and he does something horrific. Basically, one of the main characters who is not part of the resistance, but he obviously does not sympathize with the Japanese or the Nazis. He knows something about his girlfriend who gets one of these films and has to flee to the neutral zone. Well, basically, they need information from him, and when he doesn't offer it up, they kidnap his sister and her children, and they gas his nephews and his sister.
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the leader of the Kempai Tai is the one who does this. And this is episode 2 or 3 in season 1.
He's a good character.
He is.
Yeah.
He eventually gets to the point where he's doing nicer things. He still
Still
does.
an asshole.
He
Well,
still
they
does some really bad stuff.
They start to realize that like their enemies are each other.
Yes.
Like they're both trying to fuck each other over, the Nazis and the Japanese in
Yeah.
this. And at the beginning of the series, it's more, we need, it's more worry about the resistance and
Yes.
what they're doing. But
Yeah.
as it goes on, this alliance they have is not built on very firm ground. So
Adolf Hitler is coming to his death.
right.
They know he's in poor health. They don't know when he's going to go. And that is creating
A vacuum.
a vacuum of power in the Nazis. And the Nazis, in this reality, they're the only ones with the nuclear bomb, not the Japanese.
Oh, really?
Right.
Okay.
Which creates a disparity between their firepower, obviously.
Yes.
And it's very interesting as far as like a just to look at politics and sort of how two fascist states would deal with each other if the two world powers were fascist states.
Yes.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool, interesting stuff. Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung,
Yeah, so-
Mortal Kombat.
So that's what you guys, they were mentioning to me before we started, that Shang Tsung is in this, and that got me even more intrigued.
Yes, it has
He's
begun.
perfect for this. Is like the soft-spoken, like
Your
like
soul is mine.
classic, like Japanese
Yes.
culture.
Oh, man. He is my favorite character in the show by a mile.
Oh, really?
By a mile.
Okay.
He has one of the most interesting arcs. He started out as somebody that I kind of liked, but I didn't know exactly where he felt and where he fell as far as like how we treat the Americans, because the Americans are second-class citizens in Japanese America.
As they should be.
Yeah, Whitey's had it coming
That's
for
why
a
you
long
have
time.
war.
Yeah.
If the winner gets to say "fuck you,"
Yeah, they
Yep.
get to write history the way they want.
that's true.
It's very strange. It's a powerful show. It was really interesting. Eventually, I don't want to say who gets to our reality, but one of the characters ends up in our reality. And they have this sort of like a little nice dichotomy between sort of like the propaganda that's shown in all of the Nazi states and then kind of like our early 1962 propaganda
Right.
of like, boys in blue,
Yep.
first line of defense, blah, blah, blah.
It's not propaganda.
Fight the
That's
good
just
fight.
true.
Yeah.
It's just real.
It's just right.
It's just life.
yeah.
He goes and lives with his hippie ass son and
Yes.
fucking
Yep.
Yeah.
Stop the bomb.
yeah. Get me back to the real Japan, please.
Right.
Is what I was thinking watching the show.
Man. And then you find out one of the characters on that side is actually from our
Yeah.
reality. Holy shit. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Can I throw out a little theory that I got? And then
Sure,
we can move on
sure.
to other people's view. This is a high recommend from me. But one of my theories is that John Smith, because John Smith was part of the...
That isn't his real name.
Actually,
that
yeah,
your theory?
that's part of my theory. Because John Smith is the most generic name that you could possibly have.
It is.
No shit.
And thank you, Mitch. And so my thought is, so John Smith is an American citizen. He was part of the American military.
Right.
He watched the bomb land on Washington, D.C.
Okay.
from far away. I have a feeling that when the Germans took over, which would have been swift after the atomic bomb fell, that they did a whole and his wife is just pregnant with their son, their first child.
Okay.
I have a feeling that the Nazis said, you join, or I not only kill you, but I also kill your wife. And I have a feeling he joins because of that.
So you don't think that it was like, you think he was completely basically blackmailed into joining?
I think he was, and I think the reason that he is so stringent about his son being raised the way that, because he does everything for family. He does some pretty atrocious things for family. And I think the reason that he raises his son to be like this Hitler youth, kid, is so that his son has the best chance to rise the ranks in the society that he is growing up in. But I believe that he doesn't believe any of this stuff. He is just trying to be a good father and a good son, or a good father and a good husband for his family.
Well, he certainly, by the end of season 2, he's certainly not as committed
Yes.
to it as he once was.
Well, when he meets Hitler, he is tremendously unimpressed.
Yeah.
Maybe he's training his son to be a sleeper cell agent.
Now, remind me, which character is actually from our world again?
Shang Tsung's right-hand man.
Got it. Yep.
Yes.
Yep, I remember that now.
That was one of the most tragic things
With
to find out.
the burn marks or
Yes.
whatever on his arms?
Yeah, I'm just going to spoil it for
Yeah.
you and spoil it for the listeners. He was a survivor from Nagasaki. And all of his
Okay.
family was dead, and he, through meditation, is how they transport between
There you
worlds.
go. Yep.
And it kind of makes you wonder if that's how the film reels are coming through, is like it's different people all throughout the world using meditation to come to different
Someone
worlds.
had to bring them.
Right, exactly. They don't just come out of the air.
Right.
So great show. Absolute recommend. Definitely go watch it.
What's interesting is the show is our film reels of their world.
Right. Well, I that was one of my favorite things
Ooh.
about the show.
What if they have a show on their Amazon?
Hey, they might.
That was my favorite thing about it was we have this book that's called The Man in the High Castle, and they have a character named The Man in the High Castle. So it's like this weird link between our realities, which actually makes it feel more real.
Well, I don't know.
It's like
Philip
poetry.
K. Dick.
It rhymes.
Philip K. Dick. Philip K. Dick is pretty badass.
Yeah.
He wrote The Man in the High Castle and knows what he's doing.
But what shit did you watch, Mitch?
So I didn't watch much,
Okay.
but I will say that I saw that True Lies was on TV over the weekend, and me being a big Arnold fan, I just knew that I had to sit down and watch it.
You are damaged goods, Mitch.
Damaged goods.
Old Tom Arnold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tom
Jamie
Arnold.
Lee Curtis.
Yep.
Yep.
Bill Pullman? Not Bill Pullman. Bill Paxton.
Bill
Sorry.
Paxton.
And speaking of Jamie Lee Curtis,
Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, we will be doing a Halloween special episode this month.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, so be
'Cause-
ready for that.
Michael Myers is a scary motherfucker. I'll just say that much.
Great guy.
Even in his 60s or 70s, he's still
he's a great-
scary
Hey.
as fuck.
Scary. Hey, if you saw an old man in his 60s or 70s walking down the street in a jumper suit with a mask on,
You wouldn't know what age he was.
well,
That's true.
True.
You wouldn't. Well, you'd see the liver spots on his hand, and maybe.
and if he was
maybe
walking kind of, well, shit. Even if he was walking like a really old person, that would be even more scary.
I was going to say he's got some good posture, but how is True Lies?
True Lies was great. I'm assuming everyone has seen this movie. I'm sure there are
No,
some.
you don't have to worry about spoiling True Lies.
No,
Right.
I'm just saying that, I'm assuming everyone knows what the hell this movie is because
Right.
that movie is fucking amazing.
Yep.
Arnold Schwarzenegger pretends to be, I think he's like an accountant or something like that.
Yeah.
Some boring ass job, but he's secretly a secret agent, works with Tom Arnold, and his wife and daughter are clueless as to who he really is.
Right.
And, it's just one of these great movies where it has a bunch of one-liners from Arnold. He just cracks me the fuck up. That's just like...
It's like that was the tail end of classic Arnold.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. God, that was a weird movie, too. It was one of those, like, very 90s movies, because the movie ends with, like, him shooting the terrorist leader
with a rocket.
with a rocket
With
off
the one-
of a jet.
You're fired.
Right.
Love
How you
that
do
line.
it. Was that was Cameron, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, where would you guys rank this as far as, like, James Cameron filmography?
Not towards the top.
Not towards the top.
No.
I'd say 10 or 11, maybe.
10 or 11. I don't even know if he's made.
How
Has he
many
made?
movies has he made?
Let's see. We got Avatar. We got Terminator 2.
Titanic.
Terminator. Aliens.
Ooh.
I mean, it's below every.
It's below all of those, easily.
Wow. Yeah, that's... Well, no, I actually like it more than Avatar, if I'm honest. It has more rewatchability.
It might. Yeah,
True.
you're right.
Well, Arnold's Arnold.
Yeah, exactly. The charisma of the characters goes a long way.
So Avatar's his worst movie?
to me, it is.
Ooh, that hot take.
I'd have to look at a list.
I'd have to look at the rest of his probably worst movies that we just can't name.
I know. I always catch shit because I think the first Terminator is like perfect.
Oh, no, that's a damn good movie. I like Terminator 2 a
They're in
little bit more.
They're in different genres. That's the thing that
Yeah, that's
separates
true.
them. Because I like each one, but for different reasons.
One, as far as like a suspenseful like thriller,
Right.
Perfect. I think it's perfect.
I would agree that it's perfect, or it's close to.
Yeah, it's about as close as you can get to, like,
Right.
suspense horror movie.
But yeah, True Lies, sweet. That's a good one to pull out randomly.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I don't know, I'd put that towards the bottom. But it's still great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a really good movie.
I think my favorite scene out of that whole movie has to be when he pretends to be he wants to buy a car from Bill Paxton,
Oh, God.
and he's driving him around, and he just
Oh, yeah.
imagines punching him right in the face.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is great in that.
Do it now.
Yeah,
Wasn't Eliza Dushku the daughter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, she came out and reported that she was sexually assaulted. on
Yeah,
that
by
movie set.
somebody on that
Yeah.
Yeah.
movie, right?
It's like a camera guy or like
Yeah,
a grip
something.
of something like
Right.
that. Yeah, it was horrific.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
crazy.
you fucking asshole.
Yep.
Like, she was super young on that movie,
Yeah,
too.
she was
She's
only like 13, 14,
yeah.
something like that.
It's fucked up. But how about something a little lighter and less fucked up? What did you see in theaters?
I saw White Boy Rick.
White Boy Rick.
And what a wasted opportunity, because I feel like I would have really liked this. It had really good characters, likable, good performances for the most part. Matthew McConaughey was really good.
Right.
The problem is I don't know the White Boy Rick true story very well.
Right.
And the movie didn't make me feel like I knew it.
Right.
So basically, premise is Matthew McConaughey is kind of an asshole dad. His son goes to gun shows with him, and Matthew McConaughey buys guns, fixes them up and resells them.
Right.
That's how he makes his money. So White Boy Rick ends up selling a couple to this gang in Detroit. Ends up he ends up pulled in by the FBI to go find where all the drug pushers are in town. So he goes around, buys drugs from them. Then he has to sell drugs for them. Then, basically he gets in some shit, gets out with the FBI. He's like, fuck you guys, I'm done with this. And this
Right.
kid was 15.
Yeah.
He ends up going and doing it himself because he's trying to say Dad, we gotta take care of our family, yo, all that kind of stuff. And that's how he talks.
Okay.
I was gonna say, so
That'd be hard to take that seriously.
So basically, it's the trailer. The
sure.
trailer
I
gave
mean,
away everything.
Well, not the FBI part. I didn't know about the
Right.
FBI part.
But the point is, him getting into the game and he blows up into this big figure who runs the shit in Detroit. But it's how the fuck did buying and selling like individual bags of drugs lead you to somehow have like kilos and your
Right.
There's just no. There's a lot of things not explained.
And like, how did he get the street
yeah.
cred?
How did he
Well,
become
I mean,
a kingpin,
they go through like 2 or 3 years in the movie, but
Okay.
I mean, he gets the street cred because he's hooked up with this gang with the guns and shit.
Okay.
But the family stuff was all interesting with like Matthew McConaughey. He's got like a junkie sister.
Yeah,
Rick
yeah.
does. And well, even like the junkie sister, like there's a scene where she's getting off heroin or whatever, and she's real sick. And I'm sitting there like, wow, if I cared more about this character, this would be really hard to watch. But since I don't give a rat's ass about this person, they've given me no reason to care about her. The whole movie, she's just been a fucking scumbag. You know, like, you need to give me something.
That's very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it goes back to like what we said about Assassination Nation. You have to have
Right.
a likable character
True.
for you to care about a growth.
Now, the other thing that bothers me, and I'm jumping to the end, spoilers, whatever.
I don't care.
Yeah. Well, so
Me
the
neither.
end, what ends up happening is after he's out from the FBI, he gets back in the drug game for himself to help his family or whatever. They're making money. Like, the family's making money. The dad's in on it, whatever.
Right.
He gets busted again. He gets busted, and this time he's on his own. This wasn't the FBI that did this. This was him after he was out, going out and doing it himself.
Right.
So the FBI, he's going to get charged as an adult. The minimum is life in prison. So he's going to get life in prison. Like,
Okay.
that's the deal.
Okay.
Because he had over X amount of whatever.
Yeah.
So he gets caught, and they basically say, look, you're going to get life in prison if you help us do this, catch this guy, because there's like that's the other thing. So they talk about the corrupt mayor and shit, like in Detroit, and the FBI's trying to catch all these corrupt politicians and shit, but like they don't go into what the mayor did. Like, I would have been interested in knowing, like what exactly was the fucking dirty
Why does the
apparatus.
FBI want him so
Right.
bad?
That's actually a good point.
Well, I want to get into the apparatus in Detroit that's all fucking corrupt and shit. That sounds like an interesting movie.
If White Boy Rick is supposed to be like, being a plant to get this guy taken down, you'd think that they'd want to let him in on the scoop to be like, this is what you need to look for.
Well, no, because the whole point is he's supposed to go to one of his contacts and say, hey, there's a big deal coming through, blah, 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 blah. So he sets up, like, his friend, basically, White Boy Rick does.
Okay.
And then the FBI catches a bunch of them, doesn't get the mayor. They don't get the mayor, but they get a bunch of other people, and then they arrest Rick anyways, and he gets life anyways. But at this
shit.
point, well, the idea was he's a martyr and poor white boy. The idea was he's a martyr and poor White Boy Rick.
Okay.
But I'm sitting there thinking, like, yeah, but you were going to get life anyways. Like,
Yeah, that does pull the narrative punch of like, like you already knew the consequences, so your character's choices make no difference.
well, yeah, to me, it's like, yeah, sure, they fucked him over because he fucked over his friend, but really
Right.
his outcome is no different
Yeah.
because of the FBI thing. And like, I don't feel that bad for him. He was fucking, he was 17 when he finally got caught. And like they play a clip of him like doing an interview or something.
now.
Yeah, or recently.
Okay.
He's like, nobody thinks I should actually be in here and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there like, why?
Yeah, you did it. Okay, the FBI, you'd have to expect that the FBI would still keep tabs on this dude, like after the fact, after he did stuff for them.
Yeah, the FBI caught him. The Detroit is who charged him. But basically, the FBI was going to talk to the judge and try to get him a reduced sentence. But since he didn't get a reduced sentence, poor White Boy Rick, I guess. And then I know, from what I understand, he did end up getting out eventually.
Okay.
I don't know what he's up to now, but like the
Back to
movie was
slinging
confusing
that dope?
too. Even the end of the movie is like White Boy Rick has been in prison since XYZ. And then at the end, like two of the, it's one of those where they like have the text, yeah. And then it's like, White Boy Rick was released like XYZ, and I'm like, well, which is it? Is he still in prison or is he out? I didn't. It was fucking weird.
Moral of the story here: don't become a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs.
That's true.
Honestly, it feels like somebody watched the movie Blow and they're like, yeah, but what if he was 15?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Blow was a lot more exciting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but
And Blow, one thing I'll give this over Blow, for the most part, that movie looks fun. Sure, you have the ending where it's sad and shit.
Right.
But that movie looks like everybody was having a fucking great time. That is not how this movie is.
in all honesty, it looked like a really stressful environment.
Oh,
for
there's
me.
so many parts. They're playing the 70s fucking party music, and they're out at all the party. Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, when he shows up and, like, he kills that one dude in the helicopter, like, when he meets that Cuban guy or whatever it was.
It totally glorifies drug use, though.
It does. It does.
Yeah, this does not. This makes drugs look miserable.
Well, that's a good thing.
Right.
Well,
So that was a plus.
Well, I hate to say, this, but keep in mind it is in Detroit.
It's true. That is true.
No, I'm just saying, like, these drug movies, like, that's why I didn't see this movie. It's just, like, they all just sort of bleed together.
Yeah,
to
I
me.
suppose. I would recommend this to people who are like into this sort of thing.
Right.
I would give it like a C-. Matthew McConaughey's good, I guess.
Matthew McConaughey just seems to just be doing good shit.
He's just
now.
good. Yeah.
You just
know.
he's gotten all that sort of like how to lose a guy in 10 days shit out of his-
Rom-coms.
Yeah, he's gotten
no
all that
longer
up.
in the rom-com level.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would agree. But that's other than Transformers, that's all I got.
Okay. So Transformers, more than meets the eye.
The Transformers, the movie.
The movie.
All right.
Yes.
So what'd you think?
What did you think, Mitch?
I don't think this could get any more 80s than it was.
Right.
This was super 80s. I mean, this was flashback to
That's the best thing about it.
Yes. It's the best thing and also kind of the worst thing about it, too.
Yes.
So I dig the power ballads.
Oh,
Right.
yes. Yes. I was rocking out on the way home. I put on, "You've Got the Touch."
Yeah, it's I gotta look up quick who did the
We actually, so when
Stan Bush is
There
the
you
one
go.
who did
Stan Bush. He did all the music pretty much.
most of it.
So here's the funny thing. So Alex and I were in the parking lot afterwards. There's a scene in the movie where they're on this like garbage planet.
Okay.
And
Space Australians.
Space
Yeah.
Australians
With the Asian
Fu
Space
Manchu
Australians.
mustache, and they're dancing around. It looked like something out of like a parody of like SNL, like the SNL cartoons or something
Sure.
like that. And the music in it just sounds really like they're dancing. And then I'm like, is that Weird Al Yankovic in there? It is.
It is?
It is. It's Dare to Be Stupid by Weird Al
Oh,
Yankovic.
yeah, there you go. I remember that song.
Yeah. Amazing music. Doesn't always go with the scene.
It was
Not at
funny.
all.
I was enjoying it.
No, it was fun. Like,
Sometimes there was like a tense scene, and you're like, ba da ba da, bitch, dude.
No,
I don't
that
think-
was one thing. I looked over at Alex, and I looked at him, and I'm like, the music just never
no,
stops.
it didn't stop. There's not a
continues.
quiet scene in the whole freaking movie.
It reminds me of like it's a Saturday morning cartoon. They don't trust the kids to like understand the emotion
Yeah,
they're supposed to
it's-
be feeling, so they just
Well,
put music in.
Oversaturation of the senses.
well, as far as the plot goes,
Oh my
like I
God.
feel like you need to watch the cartoon to really like dive into the movie because you
Yes.
you get thrown in the middle of some confrontation
In-
that's going on
in the
Yep.
future of 2005.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that
But
was
like
awesome,
The
by the way.
Autobots, we know the Autobots and the Decepticons. I get it. Maybe that's all that's important. Anyways, it doesn't matter what led up to this particular battle.
Yeah.
Right.
But it sure felt like, okay, what's going on here?
It was like the finale. It would be like, essentially, it would be like a season or series finale.
I think that's must have been what it was.
Well,
like,
and the worst thing was, I remember, did you guys ever watch the Toys That Made Us or whatever it is? It's that new...
I did. I haven't watched... Is there a Transformers
There's a Transformers one, yeah.
Ooh.
And they were talking about how the idea here was like they were going to do like a whole new brand of like new characters and new Transformers. And so they killed off Optimus. They didn't realize that Optimus was like the thing that was bringing everybody in. And the series suffered greatly.
Well, and did they expect to get all this voice talent to do the TV series?
Right.
Like Leonard Nimoy and Robert Stack and shit.
And
are
Orson Welles.
Yeah,
Welles.
yeah, right, yeah. They're all going to come back and do the Transformers TV show. But
Yeah.
I kind of had fun with it, though.
It was
It wasn't like a boring watch by any means.
It was just fun. Like, I don't know. There was just some interesting, funny things that I
Yes.
noticed. Like, the one thing that cracked me up. So, I mean, it starts off, with the Omicron. Unicron, my bad.
Jeez.
Sorry, I just got so wrapped up in all the music, I didn't pay attention to the names.
fair enough.
So, I mean, it starts out with that, with just like, just destroying a planet, and then they go to Earth in the future of 2005, by the way, and the kids wearing futuristic clothes, and he gets on a hoverboard, and then he biffs it within like...
That was funny.
That was really
He
good.
just freaking biffs it.
But see, okay, like that, the Spike and his kid or whatever
Right.
the fuck their name are.
Yeah.
We're supposed to know them, I would assume.
Right, I think
Yeah.
we're supposed to know them from the show or something.
So yeah, it looks stupid in context, but like,
There's
you might, if you watch the show, you might, classic, whatever.
classic.
classic Biff.
Classic
Right.
Spike just almost dying.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny because the best part of the whole thing is Megatron versus Optimus Prime.
And it's
Yeah, that
right
fight
at the
was good.
beginning
And it's
of
right
the
at the beginning and it's over. And then I don't care about any of these other characters.
Right. Well, the worst thing is that you're supposed to care about it's Hot Rod and Spike fishing at the beginning of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And I say show, it's basically like 4 episodes straight
It is.
together.
It even has like commercial breaks in it.
But the thing that's
Or Space
Yeah,
4
it
commercial
just
breaks.
fades out and fades back in.
Yeah. I would say that the greatest thing about this is the animation is
Right.
fucking top notch. Like I guarantee
It
you
is
the show
good.
does not look like this. The show is nowhere near this quality. All the time? No.
Yeah, the animation was really beautiful to like actually see.
The music is
The music is
music's
really
so
great.
good.
The music is really great.
So good.
And it's funny because I had mentioned to one of you guys right afterwards, everybody gives Michael Bay shit.
Right.
Yeah,
But
no,
let's acknowledge that this is how the characters talk to each other. I mean, everything is Starscream, like they all call each other by their names, and
Well,
every time they talk, like Optimus Prime, blah blah blah. It's like you don't.
It's kind of true, but at the same time, you brought up, and it's the same point too. The Autobots talk to each other in a very respectful manner, and the Decepticons are
that's true.
terrible to each other.
They're
and that's the
assholes to
problem
each other.
And that's the problem with the Michael Bay movies.
The
is
later
everybody-
ones,
yeah,
the later because the first one
they were
all,
fine.
yeah,
they
right.
were fine, and then it just got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, you're right because they're all like fighting with each other and
They
shit.
just hate each
But there
other,
is
yeah.
there's actually I thought that was a pretty clever, great scene.
Yeah.
So Optimus and Megatron both die.
Yes.
So that's the leaders. Of
Actually,
the,
Megatron's not dead.
he's spoiled.
Stop it.
Well,
Just let me
it's-
fucking
it's-
get my
it-
point
it's,
across.
It's set up for a great bit.
Right. Optimus and Megatron both are no longer able to serve their duty of commanders.
incapacitated.
Right.
Yeah.
So they show like how the different sides handle this.
Yes.
And the Autobots are all sad and they're being really respectful.
They have a
and
funeral.
They're having a funeral, whatever.
No
and,
contention over
yeah.
the passing of power.
and the Decepticons are just fuckers with each other.
Oh, well, the great thing about that scene is first it's the shuttle transformer that they're all riding in space is like, we have to lighten our load. And so all the Transformers, all the Decepticons on the inside, they're like, well, I think we should get Starscream. I think we should get rid of the unhealthy and the sick, which includes Megatron. And they're like, let's vote on it. All the A's and the nays and the I's have it.
Well, I liked before that when Megatron is on the ground and he's like mortally wounded, and Starscream just comes up and just kicks him right in the gut too. Like
Starscream and Megatron are fantastic.
yeah,
It's one of the best dynamics in the entire movie. Starscream,
It
you're the
always
idiot.
was. It always was. I wish we would have gotten a little more of that in
Yes,
the movies.
yes.
I would say,
Well,
and in this movie.
Right. Yeah,
But
all around.
I'm sure that was the entire show.
Yep.
Every week, how is Starscream
yep.
trying to take the power from Megatron?
Starscream, you dumbass.
The best was when he called him an idiot.
Yes, Starscream, you idiot. And then there's that bit where they're all fighting for the power, and then like I should be the leader. And then like Constructicon or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, they're the biggest.
Devastator.
Yeah.
Devastator. We are the biggest. Soundwave. Sound.
Soundwave superior, Constructicons inferior.
Yeah, that's how they talk.
It's fucking amazing. And I love Soundwave's sound.
Yeah,
man.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
It's just one of the greatest, like iconic. You know.
Yes. We're gonna hear that soon.
We are in the Bumblebee
Oh,
movie.
we gotta just talk about
Oh
this.
god,
Yeah, we saw
a trailer for Bumblebee.
Well, a special extended clip.
sneak peek.
Yes. So we saw a clip of like the garage scene that have been in the trailers.
Yes.
And the fucking goddamn movie is going to try and explain that his name is
Yes.
Bumblebee.
Yep.
Because
It's
it
this
reminds
freaking
her
girl.
of a bumblebee.
Yep.
And the fucking character's name is Bumblebee on Cybertron. So is this just a coincidence?
Yeah, because in the newest trailer that was released like a week ago, Optimus says like, Bumblebee, you're going to need to do recon.
Right. So okay. So there's two options here. Either they just retcon the whole fucking thing, and Bumblebee is Bumblebee because a human named him that.
Right.
And then Optimus hears that his name is Bumblebee or something.
Right,
whatever.
right.
Or she happened to name him Bumblebee
when
and
his
that's
name was
actual-
already Bumblebee.
Yes.
I would
That's
love that
that's
so
the one
much.
that makes sense.
I would love that so
That's
much.
the
You have
only
no
thing
idea.
it can be.
That would be
What
the
else
greatest.
could it be?
What a coinky dink.
Like,
Yeah.
just fucking Witwicky didn't know his name was Bumblebee until Optimus was like, oh, that's Bumblebee. You know? Like,
Can I give my car a different name?
it's so weird. Unless she named him Bumblebee, told Optimus that his name was Bumblebee, and that's why he's Bumblebee when Optimus shows up. I mean, is that right?
It's about all I can get. I also don't give a fuck.
I mean, it's
No.
so stupid, though.
I no.
It's so incredibly stupid.
I'm just tired of like I said it last week. I'm tired of this whole like he's my robot pet and he cowers in the corner.
yeah.
Fuck that. You're a warrior
You're a
from
giant-
a robot planet.
You're a giant fucking robot, and you're scared of a teenage little girl in a garage.
Yeah. You literally could have transformed while she was inside you and have crushed her.
Yeah, but he's such a nice guy.
I'm just saying, why is he scared of her?
I mean, he's. Yeah, I don't know.
he's
Is
a
he
little-
scared
he's a
of
little
her?
bumblebee. He
is
doesn't
I
wanna
don't think
do any
he's
harm.
threatened physically, right?
I don't know what it is, and that's the point. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of where this is going. It's meant for kids, though. This
you know
is
what? It's
this is
supposed to show a character arc that first he's scared of her, and then he eventually grows to love her.
yeah, exactly. It's one of the most easy. It's like adopting like a pet from a shelter kind of thing. Like,
Right.
oh look, it's a shelter baby, which is something everybody should do. I'm not saying don't do it.
And then name them Bumblebee.
I'm just saying maybe don't do that with your Transformers characters.
I would agree. But yeah, back to anything else to even say about the Transformers movie?
I did. I love the space. Australians.
scenes
They were great.
Orson Welles is pretty great to have in there.
Yes,
Yeah.
that scene where Megatron gets to him and he's just getting blown away by by his voice.
Yeah.
That was fucking cool,
And the
man.
music they play when old what's his name's on the screen too.
Yeah.
Goddamn Unicron.
Unicron. Yeah.
Unicron.
Yeah, that was pretty good music. What else was there? Oh, there's a bit where
There's an underwater bit
Yeah.
where we had no clue what
They
the fuck
just
was
somehow
happening.
get there. Why?
Yes.
Why the hell are they there?
That-
How did they get separated?
yeah.
What the fuck?
What? I mean, there's no answer.
We need to. We need
I
to
think
separate.
we missed some. I think there's something.
I did start glazing over because I was like, "This is a Wikipedia article version of a movie.
is.
Like
It
it's
is
just
not a movie.
It's just a series of events.
Yeah, it is not a movie because there's no like setup at the beginning. There's
there-
not even so much as like a crawl to say like
Who
the
these
Transformers have been fighting for X amount of time and this is
Nothing.
the context that this takes place in. All there is it's 2005.
and there's and
Go.
there's no heart, and there's no character arc, and there's no
There was some heart.
There was a little bit of heart, but there wasn't a main character.
There's a little
really.
bit of heart, but you've got the touch.
Yeah, you've got the touch and you've got the power.
Well, I suppose your main character
Is Hot Rod, I would say.
well, either Hot Rod or the Robert Stack replacement
Yes,
of Optimus Prime.
yeah.
and I'm not even sure if he was, because it was almost like he was like terrible at being a leader.
Oh, he
'Cause He
was.
just got like killed by the
Well,
space
yeah, the whole
Australians.
point was like, okay, well, at the end, Optimus kind of comes back in the form of the Matrix of Leadership or whatever.
Matrix of leadership. It's just an orb that turns into like a bomb that
Turns into Optimus.
that,
apparently.
it's so weird. It just
It's funny how they worked all this shit into the
to the
Michael
movie,
Bay movies.
right?
Yeah.
As if like the Matrix, like that's where you got to give them a little bit of credit, because the Matrix of leadership is literally nothing. It's nothing.
You know, it was inside you the whole time.
The touch and the power was inside you the
That's
whole
true.
time. But
Touch.
well, I like the fact that Omnicron or whatever the other Magnus Optimus, the Optimus
Galvatron?
clone. No, Optimus clone.
Even
one-
the same color scheme.
Yeah, same color scheme. He's very clearly supposed to be the replacement. I like the fact that he was trying to open the Matrix of leadership
And he couldn't
on
do
the space Australian planet, and all it really took was that he wasn't putting his fingers in the finger holes. Did you get that? That Hot Rod.
I didn't notice that.
Hot Rod figured it out.
Hot Rod figured it out and put his fingers in the finger holes. Because
There
he
you
was
go.
just trying to pull it at like the widest part. Fucking dumb. Like, this movie is dumb as fuck.
I enjoyed it.
It was
It was
enjoyable.
a good romp
It was
of like
right,
80s
exactly.
nostalgia. That's what it really was.
It's not something like if you're sitting down thinking you're going to watch something akin to like a Disney movie
Right.
with like a story.
Right.
Yeah, no, there's none of that here.
no, there's
See,
no
I've-
story here.
I've owned this. I've owned this on Blu-ray for a few years now, and this is the first time I've watched it since I've owned it. Like in its entirety, I've gotten about 10 minutes in every
Well,
time, and
I
I've been
remember
like,
I tried to watch it some time ago. I mean, obviously, I'd seen it when I was a kid.
right.
And I tried to watch it maybe like 10 years ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
And when Optimus and Megatron died at the beginning, I was like, well, what the fuck is the point of watching this?
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine that this was well received. I really can't.
Well, I mean, that's going back to that the toys that made us.
Yeah.
There were like all these guys who were grown up who were like, yeah, everybody like cried. That was like a huge thing for like a generation.
I suppose, like, because they had context.
Yes.
They're not just watching two random cartoon characters.
Yeah, you get. I mean, imagine it. You know,
You're watching
you're a
seasons of this
huge-
show.
yeah.
You're a huge fan. You just
Watching
got
this
done
show
watching
every
it.
day.
You just got done watching. You're like, watch the latest episode. Now I get to go see the movie.
And he's like, within 10 minutes, Optimus
Dead.
fucking dies.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he has the great, like the classic, like I'm really dead thing, which
Well,
is like
the
he
color-
turns his head to the side.
the color
as he
fades.
dies. Yeah,
The
the
color
color
fades.
fades.
He's all gray.
Yeah, he has a full-on vision when he dies.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, if you were watching the
actually like a-
Turtles
it
and
was
all
a
of a sudden,
legit
like,
death.
all of a sudden, like, Leonardo died or something.
Oh, you'd be pissed. Well,
Well, Leonardo.
yeah, that's true. You could have
Well,
picked a
I'm-
better. Right, I know what you're saying.
Leonardo had his fans.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, a main character.
Right.
You're pumped to see the movie and, like, that
They
you're
die
dressed
within
up in
10
your...
minutes.
It's one of the strangest decisions, and it just feels like a business decision, you know? Because if it was like a narrative decision, you do it at the end of the movie. Because they didn't.
But then Hot Rod wouldn't have his character
Right,
arc
the
of
whole
becoming a
point
leader.
is... The whole point is to set up the Robert Stack character and all the newcomers.
Well, but that's the idea, is you could actually do like a Optimus as a mentor. You could see what Optimus means. You could see what people are learning from him, what it means to be a good leader. You know what I mean?
Well, it's all about the matrix of leadership.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is it's literally just a passing of like a glowing orb.
A literal fucking passing of the torch.
It's the spirit bomb before the spirit bomb existed, for all you Dragon Ball fans.
That's right.
I think one of my favorite bits, and I just couldn't help but go to a dark place with this, but the kid, he puts on an exosuit. And on the Space Australians planet, they're like, oh, you've got to transform, kid. You got to transform. And I just keep on thinking of like it transforms and it just like rips his arms off or some shit.
I kind of, for some reason, I wanted to see that kid die.
Yeah, I kind of did too, if I'm honest. He was really annoying. It's one of those things where, like, I think I probably wouldn't have liked him even as a kid because I didn't like the insert yourself into this child character.
Nobody cares about any of the humans in this, right?
Exactly.
Just like how no one cares about the humans in a Godzilla movie or anything like that.
He's the Wesley Crusher of this series.
Remind me of who that is, nerd man.
He's oh, that's right. You're not a Next Generation guy.
Okay.
He's the oh god.
Oh, Wesley Crusher's the kid on the Enterprise, right?
Yeah, on the Enterprise.
Shut up, Wesley.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Patrick Stewart tells him to shut up. It's fucking great.
Oh, that's the best line of that whole show.
It probably is. Well, make it so. But anyways.
Make it so.
But yeah, he's the Wesley Crusher of this, and it's like I don't like the child insert characters.
I only
never
watch
did.
real Star Trek.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
Kirk going around and having sex with green ladies,
Really horrible fight choreography,
dropping foam rocks. On.
Dun, 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 dun.
Fucking classic show. Stop it. Insult Star Trek.
Oh man.
But yeah, I don't have much more to say about it.
Would you recommend it? I mean, would you, like, for somebody who...
As something just like as a pop culture you know what I mean? I don't think it's like good or...
If you like everything 80s, you'd probably appreciate this a little bit.
the power ballads alone
are worth it.
Fucking hysterical.
Buy the soundtrack.
Yeah, I actually might get the soundtrack.
That's where I'm at.
It is funny. But yeah, other than that, no, not particularly.
I don't know if I don't have much to say. I mean, it's a weird experience because it's just, it doesn't have any arcs. Doesn't really have anything really to say.
Except
it's just, yeah.
So it's just like the new Transformers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's so weird that
I'm telling you, there's a thing, everybody, back to the Michael Bay thing. We can all give Michael Bay all this shit. But guess what? This is a fucking toy commercial.
Right.
Yeah.
It never was anything bigger than that.
Right.
I give him a little less shit now after seeing this and seeing what it actually was. Like, without the nostalgia glasses, like, holy shit, yeah. Michael Bay was actually a little bit more spot on with how it was.
So stupid.
They're,
you could make it good.
You could make it.
It's
one of those things that would require a lot of heart and a lot of
actual real fucking effort into like making a good story, making sure it looks good.
I mean, I still think the first one.
Oh, the first
one was good enough to launch off a franchise that fucking crushed it for 10 years.
Aren't they? Didn't they say they were going to make like 18 freaking?
No,
movies?
that's not happening anymore. I don't.
No. They're done. They're
starting
this
over.
This is the soft reboot.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, the first one. When I first saw the first one, I was like, I remember walking out of the theater and I said to my girlfriend at the time, "This is maybe the quintessential summer blockbuster."
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's aged as well. I can't get through the whole movie at this point. I just don't enjoy it the way I did the first time I saw it. And I liken it to like the first time you see like the 89 Batman. Like you loved it because it's Batman.
Yeah.
But the more you're like, but Dark Knight version is more like character.
Way better.
Yeah.
It's way better.
It is.
It's more character accurate. It's it's the same thing with this. Like once they do a reboot, they'll probably do a reboot not as good as the Dark Knight, but it will probably be a better, more coherent series.
They'll definitely do another Batman. I mean, they have to.
Oh, I'm talking about Transformers.
He's talking about Transformers.
They'll reboot this and they'll
reboot it. I think they'll do a good job with it.
I think I would be interested to see what they would do with like a Beast Wars kind of thing.
What if they did this movie as live action? How would that go?
It would suck.
Awful. Because there's nothing there.
There's nothing there. It would suck.
Well, what if
the battles would be awesome?
You could do like a Cybertron thing, but the problem is, do you need that human character to kind of anchor people to the story?
I would argue you don't, but
Hollywood would do it.
The point is you don't need to make it a live action movie because if it's all robots on a robot planet, just make it an animated movie and just do it like Pixar style. You don't have
Yeah, but then you got to have at some point the Transformers come to Earth,
Which is
because
fine.
the whole point is that they have to transform into things that we,
Right.
You know what I mean? They're in
Right.
disguise on Earth, so that has to happen.
Well, they need to find a way to integrate it where the human characters don't become the central focus of it. It should always be the robots.
Yes,
that are
that's
the
true.
central.
That is true. And the problem is, on the cartoon and in this cartoon movie, they don't act like people.
Yeah.
The robots don't. They
No.
act like robots, and they have dumb, stupid dialogue.
Why-
And in the movies,
Oh,
they
man.
also have dumb, stupid dialogue, but
But
it just doesn't
Yeah.
work as well, you know?
I will stop talking about this movie as soon as I get this one out of my system. But just to illustrate how bad Optimus Substitute is, he's like, they're trying to get Grimlock.
Oh, Robert Stack's character.
Yeah.
Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack.
Yes, they're trying to get Grimlock, the transformer that's a Tyrannosaurus.
Yes.
God, what a
Onto-
horrible.
Me Grimlock.
Oh, God.
Super.
me dinosaur.
Yeah, but they're trying to get him on the ship because they're trying to get out of wherever the hell they are, so they can go
Their
off
home
on
base.
so they can go back and do another mission on another thing and have another explosion. But anyways, they're trying to get him on, and it's not working. And it's like this speedy guy, and he's like, I can't get him on. He's
Yep,
not going to
yep,
go on.
yep.
And then like he's just like, oh, well, don't worry about that. You get him on the thing. And I'm like, wait, so you
And then
just
he just walks away.
He just walks away, and I'm like, but you haven't solved the problem. How it's like it's two new people. You're a bad leader, man.
Excellent leadership.
Yeah, he's terrible.
It's just like you reassign.
Well, he hasn't opened the Matrix yet.
He hasn't discovered the touch.
He just put it in his chest, which is so weird. It's like such imagery of like putting something inside you and putting it like where we like consider the soul, and
Yep.
you just do nothing with it. It's so strange.
Okay, everyone, make sure you find your matrix of leadership.
Right. Sound like Bob Ross or something. Little matrix of leadership here.
So, yeah, I think that's the episode, huh?
That is the episode.
Thank
is
you,
it.
Mitch, for joining us.
It was a pleasure. I had a lot of fun doing this.
And where can I find Drawn to Nostalgia for now?
For now, we only have our Libsyn site.
Okay.
So you can find us at drawntonostalgia.libsyn.com.
All right.
Soon it will be up on podcast, iTunes, podcast, Stitcher, all the
Sweet.
good ones.
All right.
Yes. So thank you for listening, guys. And Jackson will actually be guest starring on Drawn to Nostalgia. If you would like to hear Jackson
At some
react
point,
to,
I'll be on it. Yeah. What am I going to do again here?
we're gonna watch the 87 Ninja Turtles series.
Yes.
Jesus. Yeah. So
I
let me
cannot-
know which episodes I got to watch.
I cannot wait to hear your opinion on like everything
Just
with
find
this.
me one with a lot of Krang and Shredder, please.
Oh my god.
You will love it.
Oh my god, Krang is something else in this. Oh my god.
They are like a dysfunctional gay
Shredder,
couple.
where
I
are
love
you
Krang,
going,
man.
Shredder?
Oh, yeah.
Shredder, come
And the
back.
big dumb thing that he rides around in, like the dumb looking robot
With
guy.
with like
Where
a
he's in the
pinhead.
stomach.
But yeah. All right. Well,
Shredder,
I'm
give me
looking
a
forward
body.
to that.
You'll have a good time, I guarantee it.